Hello and welcome to Overgrowth Weekly number 29. My name is Anton. With me, as always, is Silverfish. And today's June 3rd, 2011. Say hello, Silverfish.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well, quite okay, I guess. I've been having a bit of trouble with my ISP, my internet service provider. My internet decided to suddenly not work. My router does not have any connection, whatever, to the station that brings me the internet connection, and that happened on Friday. And since everyone is not working on weekends, that means that I wouldn't have any internet connection during the weekend. And I was like, yeah, Overgrowth Weekly without no internet can't really happen. So I had
Right.
to I had to travel to my cousin's, so I'm sitting at my cousin's place right now, and yeah, I'm doing Overgrowth Weekly from here. So
Awesome. I'm going to be right back. I'm sorry if you want to keep talking.
nah, I was just going to say that I'm not incredibly happy with the situation, but it's working out. And that's all that I wanted to say. Yep. Anton? Uh, Anton? Anton?
Yep, sorry about that. I'm back. Sorry, my friend was taking off. He had been staying with me, and his thing finished copying. Um, how's it going?
Yes. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's up with me. So, what's going on with you, man?
It's a slightly rough weekend, actually. Some personal stuff, not so exciting. So we'll probably talk about it later. But other than that, I've also started work on my TV show, so I'm incredibly busy. And yeah, so you know, it's a long weekend, and I think that we're both a little unprepared for today's OG
Yeah,
Weekly. So,
indeed. And
so
you're kind of short on time as well. You need to do some work, I guess.
yeah, well, this TV show, as I've threatened, is taking me away. So, we're gonna try and kind of get through things a little faster than normal, maybe today. So,
Hmm.
but as always, I guess we want to start by moving on to um, Alpha number 137.
Yes, indeed.
This week's Alpha. Um, and we'll just go through what he talked about. So the video is great this week. A lot of people got really excited over this week's Alpha video. I guess it made the front page of Reddit. And so welcome to the bunch of new people that may be tuning in this week from the Reddit community. We're glad to have you on board. Um, so let's see. Subpixel stippling for smoother motion blur on new graphics cards. Um, this is great. Helps.
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
your voice is kind of lagging for me. I don't know why. So
Huh.
it's kind of hard to hear what you're saying.
Is that true for everyone? Am I a little lagging?
No, not for the stream. Uh, I don't think. But maybe it's just because you're doing the streaming and your internet is not keeping up. But anyways, I'll try to pick up whatever I can. But know that I might not be able to hear everything.
Oh, okay. That's kind of frustrating. Sorry to hear that.
No problem. Just go on. Call
Okay.
my name when you finish speaking and want me to say something, just to be sure.
All right. Welcome to the future, guys. This is the future today. Subpixel stippling is motion helping the motion blur. So before, a lot of people were complaining about sort of the effects of the stippling process and this helps smooth out that effect. Don't you agree, Silverfish?
Yes, indeed, I do. I think with the new subpixel stippling, isn't that? Oh, subpixel stippling. Yeah, that will. Otherwise, it's just called stippling. I see. Yeah, it makes it look more smooth, even in the screenshots. So while it's in motion, it looks even smoother. So yeah, it's improvement. It's improvement, and apparently it's very, very cheap to do as well. So that's
Yep,
nice.
absolutely. I agree. Um, let's see. So we're just going to move quickly, I think, today. So decal color tinting. This is great. Uh, Before we were able to just use the color tinting tool to color objects, and now we can color decals, which really means that we can blend things together in a meaningful way. Um, the next two sort of went hand in hand with keyboard. Now you use the keyboard now to pick up and drop weapons, um, which was moved away from right click, and now when you throw someone, you have to do an active block, which is a timed block before you can throw someone. So we sort of moved away from what the right click button was doing, how it was working in previous versions. And um, how do you feel about moving the weapons to the keyboard versus the right click?
Um, I I guess there are pros and cons to it. I remember they were talking about earlier that they want the right click key to be the grab key. So anytime you wanted to grab something like an opponent or a weapon or a ledge or whatever, you would use the right click. But it is kind of annoying having to hold right click just to hold a weapon like for long periods of time, and some people can't hold right click and click left click at all. So I guess it kind of feels like a necessary change, but yeah, I think it's better. It's not a very big sacrifice to move away from the right click, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird because there was something sort of intriguing about the one-to-one reaction time of holding right click to hold a weapon, and when you let go, that was when the weapon was let go. There was something interesting about that, I thought. Um,
Yeah, I guess you probably have a point there, but then again, some people can't do that. It just doesn't work on their mice, so
yep,
it's kind of necessary. But perhaps they will add a toggle or something where you can change your controls or something. I
maybe,
don't know.
or maybe they'll invent like a foot control, then you have to hold down a foot pedal. No, I don't know.
Yeah. They'll ship it with a separate mouse that you need to be like right click, left click to walk and stuff.
That you know, uh, yeah. Let's not go down that path. Overgrowth for Connect with a live boxing dummy. Here you go. You have to actually learn how to
Yay!
backflip to do a roll. Um, so, and then next, there's some improved animations. The improved head look, the improved weapon stance, and the improved stab lines have all been great. The way that the characters look at who they're fighting is pretty amazing. As you walk up close to someone, they really are looking down at them or really focusing their eyes where they should be focusing. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks really good. Not really too much to say about it. I mean, a lot of games actually have this where they look in the correct places. It does feel a bit robotic somehow, though. They need to add some kind of randomness with looking around randomly when they are looking at someone. I mean,
It's
it's
almost
not often that.
too
Yeah, it's
perfectly
almost too.
fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Also, what's kind of weird is that you continue looking at the last body that you were fighting, even if they're dead, laying in a heap on the ground. So, but that's part of the process.
Yeah, that's just the way it is, man. You need to think about what you've done to that poor guy.
Exactly. All right, so next, a few bugs were fixed. Texture conversion, sliding bug when switching characters in ragdoll mode, and movement object one not found. I'm not sure specifically any of those bugs, but it's always good to see bug fixes.
Yeah,
Um,
always good to see bug fixes, indeed.
yep. Softened weapon whoosh sounds while equipped. So, if the sounds were too loud, they're probably a little more subdued, little tweaks here and there. Um, this next one I actually liked a lot. Sorry, I'm not showing you what I'm looking at. Disabled grabbing or holding weapons while unconscious. I actually am really excited about that one because it used to be when you died, you held on to your weapon, but now if you die, your weapon continues along the path it was already continuing, whether or not that's the same path that you're moving or not, which is an awesome effect. It feels very cool.
Yeah,
Have
it's
Have you played with it?
I haven't played around with it a lot, very briefly just, but yeah, it's I'm not very excited about it actually, but it feels like a pretty basic thing. I did think about that you just kept holding onto the weapon while you died, and that looked kind of weird, and it just feels natural now, I guess.
Yeah. Well, at first I didn't think much about it, but then when it happened to me, I got kicked by three rabbits at the same time while jumping, and I died, and my sword went one direction and I went another direction. At first I was like, no, my sword, but then I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I actually liked it a lot. Um, and then a couple more bug fixes. Fixed a problem when switching characters while holding weapons, which something I think we mentioned a few weeks back, where if you switched characters, the weapon would stay where it was, but you would still run around as if you were holding the weapon. And fixed the super jump problem when moving up steep slopes. I know some people are torn on that issue, where sometimes when you're going up a steep slope, you would get a random extra boosting jump, and some people liked that. But I think it's probably good that it's gone.
I agree. I thought it was just very weird. It
Yeah,
didn't feel right to me.
exactly. So let's move on. Next on the agenda is the fan art watch. Every week we like to take a look at what the community has done. And I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to ignore it. Why don't you go ahead and tell them what happened this week, Lucas?
In this week's fan art watch. Oh yeah. Well, a lot of things didn't happen in this week's fan art watch because there was no fan art this week, so not really a whole lot to speak about right there.
Exactly. Way to way to way to stop me there. All right, to cover for me. All right, so we'll next move on. Last has updated his blood mod to work with Alpha 137. We're actually not going to show it this week, I think. But again, this mod is high, high, high on the recommendation scale. It just allows you to have more blood. It lets the blood remain on the ground even if you revive characters, and adds a certain level of hyper realism that's kind of fun. So definitely worth
Yeah,
checking out.
totally.
Next, Hale's prefabricated resources release. So this is actually re-release. This is something he actually released a long time ago, and I'm going to go ahead and load up a level here in Overgrowth to show this off to you. Hale, as you know, is the same guy who created the Riverhurst map and the let's see what other maps. The Shale Guard 2 that we talked about a couple weeks ago. He helped on the cave map, and just in general he does some very good mapping work. So what he has provided you, and apparently I'm running for no good reason.
Well, maybe, I mean, it's always good to run, get your It's good for your
Wow,
health and stuff.
I have no
Just
control.
click all your WSD keys. Doesn't that work?
Nope,
Just once.
nope.
Wow.
I guess we're restarting Overgrowth. Sorry about that. We really were both kind of busy today and didn't have a lot of time to prepare. So, really sorry about the sort of unorganized aspects of what's going on. Okay, here we are now. So Hale has actually added into the object spawner a new tab called Prefab, and what he's included are groups from a lot of his maps, including houses that you can add in and change, and then also siege weapons, some trebuchet, catapults, and also some castle pre-made items that you can load in. And so all of these just use objects that are already in the game, but they're pre-made to just be able to load in and create your own, add them to your own things. And as you can see, they're highly detailed, lots of little pieces to kind of create the looks. That's one of the catapults. I will load in. I'll load in a house just so you can kind of see the details that he's going to. And what he's done is all of the houses have this big brick bottom so that you can really make it fit on any kind of terrain. So you see there's stairs inside, open windows, doors. They're just great little fun pieces that you can, add into an already existing level or start basing a level around them. And there's a bunch.
Mhm.
There is a bunch. So
They're also really good to just see how you can use the assets to build your own things to use as a reference, or to make just if you're not very good at creating stuff, small stuff like catapults and that kind of stuff, then you can use one of these to just make your level come alive much quicker.
yep. And you can see some of them are pretty big. The castles are not small items.
Nice. That's really awesome. I like how he has used the assets. He hasn't overused assets, because if you use too many assets in this game right now, since it's not very optimized, you quite easily can get bad frame rates. But he has, by the looks of it, used a good amount of assets to make it run smoothly and looking pretty good.
Right. I agree. And there's a lot of detail. I guess we can ungroup things and go in and look and see just how much stuff he's added in. Little pieces of wall, and I grabbed the wrong edge there. So it's not they are highly detailed, but they're not so crazy that you can't people can't run them. So there are big pieces and then a lot of little trim and things like that. So really glad that he re-released this grouping.
Yep. He did add some stuff also, didn't he?
He did add a few new things. I believe this castle is actually one of the new items.
Yeah.
So, great mod for those of you who want to try and put together some levels but don't want to create whole cities on your own. It's a fantastic way to start to get a level, or even just to get some ideas. And he's happy to see them in a level, but then also modified versions. He wants you to play with them. He doesn't want you to feel like you're obligated to use them the way that he's left them. So definitely cool.
Yep. You should totally check it out. And next up, we actually have another thing by Mr. Hale.
Yep. Hale's Arena Pack levels. So he actually has provided 3 arenas, and we'll take a look at 1 or 2 of them. I don't know how many we want to look at.
Yeah, probably just quick looks.
All right, we'll take a look at the third one, which is set inside of a castle. And this one is kind of weird. If you calculate shadows, it's pretty good. However, if you calculate ambient occlusion, it's a little bit dark. This is due to the fact that there's no internal or point lighting that we can really use in the game. So let me give you guys sound, which you currently don't have. There we go. And so these are all designed to be team-based or sort of one-on-one, 2v2. This one could be as much as 3v3 players fighting. And there's a lot, again, his maps always have a lot of detail. So right now I'm in the, I guess you could call it the rabbit starting room. And as you wander around the area, you'll find that there is a wolf starting room, and he's actually put some characters in here, so I'm going to be attacked. I saw the wolf running at me. There he is. Oops, and I'm getting some lag, and I'm dying. And I'm dying some more. So I'm actually getting a lot more lag than I'm used to, so I'm having a hard time playing.
Yeah, it's probably because you're streaming or something, I guess.
Exactly, and I'm stuck. So, that was exciting.
Yeah, it's looking really good though. Though, like you say, it's kind of dark. But other than that, it's a really cool level, and it's really exciting to see a multiplayer kind of level in Overgrowth already.
Right.
Makes you excited for the future.
Right. So, I guess real quick, I will switch over and show you some more of his... Actually, what might be more interesting is to go and just look at his screenshots of his levels. So the level we were just looking at was this Arena 3 right here, and he calls it the Citadel Arena. So you'll notice that I was spawned sort of on the bottom portion, and the wolves were in the upper portion, and there's sort of a top-down view of what the level looks like. These top-down views are cool too. They kind of look like cool little maps, almost like sketches, but then you realize that they're actual screenshots from the game.
Yeah, they should add a way to make orthographic images in Overgrowth later.
That would be cool. So, what's that?
Yeah, I don't know if I pronounced orthographic, it's called perhaps, and not orthographic.
I'm actually not sure which type of map that is, but ortho probably in English.
Yeah, orthographic.
The way we butcher words. So as you can see, here's another. Actually, this Arena 2 is pretty cool. It's designed to have 2 spawn points per team, one on each side, one on the other side, and then you fight over this little pit. Maybe I'll load that one up. It's maybe one of the more interesting ones. And then the very top is his first one, but it was also sort of an exciting one. You spawn in 2 locations and you run around inside. One thing that he has done is that he has put some invisible walls, so you can't jump up on the walls to escape. I actually tried doing that the first time, and it didn't work out. So, yeah. But it's
no cheating for you today, my friend.
What's that?
No cheating for you today, my friend.
I guess not. But he wanted it to feel like it could be inside a city, without having to make an entire city. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, using barriers like that, it's what you have to do, especially in multiplayer kind of levels, when you want to be sure that people can't be where they're not supposed to be able to be.
Exactly.
So you're loading up the second level now?
Yes, I'm loading up the second level at this point.
So it had 4 spawns or something? So is it
Yes.
for 4 teams, or is it just that each team can spawn in 2 locations?
It's 2 teams. Here, I'll go back um, to the top-down view. There's two bases, base 1 and base 2, and then there's a spawn for 1A and 1B and 2A and 2B. So it's a 2v2 map. Each person spawning in a different location, but the bases are on one side, and then you meet in the middle.
Ah, I see.
So here we go. I've spawned, I believe, in 1A, and then you can see there's my teammate is another turner, and then here comes the guards from across the way. And what's kind of cool is he has this pit sort of in the middle that you can kind of fall down into, and yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of lag today, so it looks even worse on the stream, it looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of okay.
So, but again, you know, he's put a lot of work into the details of these maps. There's a lot of aging of pieces, and sort of just the feel of it, having the 2 spawn points and that meeting in the middle. Here I'm now on the other team's spawn location, and it feels like it's a place that you could actually be. Oh look, there's some hidden shortcuts. Ha.
Nice. Yeah, I think it feels so classic, these levels. They feel very much like, a deathmatch level, or it's like it could be. This looks very much like an Italy map from Counter-Strike, for instance.
Uh-huh.
It just feels very classic like that, and I think that's really cool.
Yep.
Because it makes you, it makes it feel very multiplayer-y, and it makes you want to kill other people.
Yep, definitely.
In Mortal Kombat. Not the game, in the actual Mortal Kombat.
Actual combat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm losing terribly. The lag is pretty bad while streaming today, I must say. So. All
Yeah,
right.
so that's
guess-
level 2. Do you have shadows calculated for this now?
No, I don't actually think I did calculate shadows, probably. So the levels probably would look a little bit better with shadows calculated.
Yeah, and the last one is, the first one, I should say, Arena 1.
Should I load it up?
I don't think we need to. We need to save the time, as we said. We're
Okay.
kind of
Yep.
dragging out a bit, it feels like.
Okay.
But yeah, this pack, Arena pack, it's really shows some really nice level design there. So if you want to do level design, I guess in general almost, you can take a look at these, because they're pretty cool to look at. Can give you a few ideas of how to use the assets to create cool looking levels.
Exactly. So let's see. AAorris' mod release. This is a cool mod where he tweaked the jump mechanics, as well as some barriers. Like if you roll into a wall, you will fall. And he did finally update it to this week's alpha. I have not yet had a chance to play it. Also, some of his items were added into the official game, so his release had to be changed to accommodate that.
Yeah, it almost feels kind of weird. It feels like David saw this and he was like, I want to make that for the official game. Because, I mean, what did it add? Let's see, what did he add? I remember there was something.
Well, he added it requires a block to make a throw.
Yeah, exactly that
He had
one.
added that before, and he added the weapon pickup and drop buttons as well, and got them off of right click. So I think he created an active block just by holding down right click. So if you hold it down, you are constantly sort of in blocking mode, as opposed to it being a timed block. But those are the only things that David added in, and I honestly, I think that it partially is because David had been planning to add them in. This is now the second time that we've seen a mod introduce an intended gameplay element that has then ended up in the official game the following week. So, anytime you see a mod happen, I think David takes note and
Yeah.
watches what people are doing. So, I don't know. Sometimes to me that feels both good and bad. I haven't gone to check and see also if the way that David wrote the code is the same way that AAorris wrote the code, which would also be sort of an interesting thing to take a look at.
Yeah, could be. Though it feels like David probably already knew how he wanted to implement it. So,
I'm sure he did.
yeah. So AAorris should probably start implementing, I don't know, some rudimentary multiplayer stuff, perhaps. Perhaps you should make, I don't know, a basic kind of hacky, somehow a Linux version or something, and then they would be like, "Oh, I'm going to make a Linux version now."
I think you're on to something here. So anything you want in the game, just make it, and then maybe it'll be copied the next week.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this was awesome because these were definitely features that I think we knew were coming. And some of the things that he's added sound very interesting, like the jump control based on where you're looking versus how long you hold down the space bar. Also, jumping from the ledge grab is something he's added. Let's see. The direction of your jump from a wall jump is reflected in your animation, which is really great. If you're rolling and you run into a barrier or a steep hill, you stop rolling. And his debug realism scale, he has a thing where you can make the game feel like the physics within the game. I think it's literally hotkeys. You can change it from being not very realistic, where you run a mile up the side of a wall, to being very realistic, where maybe you only run a foot up the wall. So it's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really cool. You should, everyone should check it out. It's really, really awesome mod.
And I'm
So,
hoping to do
check
that
it.
soon. Yes, and we love seeing mods to the scripting and to the physics. I think that those are, levels are awesome because the interface allows anyone to create a level, but mods like this are something special, I think. So make some more.
Agreed.
Next, Cisco Central 1915's short animation. And I guess we will just play that. What do you think?
Yeah, we can. It's
So
quite short, so.
there's no sound, so we might talk through it a little bit. And here it comes. Oops, that's the wrong program for that button. Let's try it again.
So this is based off a storyboard that Aubrey made, right?
I guess so, yes.
I really like how he recreated the characters in color and more detail. They look pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I like I guess that's it. I like the guy with only one ear.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is he animated the storyboard, and then he had also changed the text. If we go back, that's not what I wanted. I have lost my page. Okay.
I think you're still playing the animation also.
Yes. No, I know. I saw that. So if we go and we look at his storyboard, he went through and he rewrote some of the lines. You can see this is what the original storyboard looked like. Turner is alerted by some bandits who are after him for a bounty. He didn't agree with some of the dialogue that came along. He didn't think that if someone knew that they had a bounty after them, they wouldn't be as surprised. So instead of "Can I help you?" he changed it to "What do you want?" and things like that.
Yeah, and I have to say that I agree with him. But yeah, I don't know. Then again, if you're nice, then you won't raise any suspicion.
It's yeah, we also don't really have a firm grasp of the background setting, but certain and we don't really have a firm grasp of what his motivation will be, what his personality will be. Only sort of what we know from Lugaru. So yeah. It's cool. I recommend going in and reading it, but for the sake of time, we're going to probably keep pushing on. Do you have anything else to say
Yep.
on it?
That little video that he had done, he should make a cartoon or something out of
Yes.
that, with dialogue and music and stories and stuff.
Yep. It would be good.
That's all.
So then we have Ari's sword release, which I have not even seen. So he's working on making a custom sword, and it's gigantic. Wow.
It's gigantic or gigantic, I'm not sure. It's huge either way.
It is definitely huge. Look at the size of that sword, and it looks menacing and amazing.
Yep.
It looks like there's some rough edges still. I'm not sure if that's from the game or from the model. But it is cool to see a custom object placed in the game like this. A custom weapon.
Yeah, he writes that it's not as good as Aubrey's stuff, because I guess he's obviously not a professional artist like Aubrey is. But yeah, it's cool to see new stuff, and I kinda added it in because just to mention it, because it's a cool thing and people should know about it and check it out if they're interested.
Right. Definitely interested in this kind of. Oh, are these more pictures? Or is this a new sword? This looks
Might
like a different
be.
sword.
Maybe it is.
Also kind of gigantic. Still cool to see more swords in Overgrowth, and we can see he's it's working as a fighting weapon, which means he's replaced probably the dog broadsword, or used that same code.
Hmm. Yeah, that is a new sword. Yeah. Yeah, cool stuff. So 2 new weapons, I guess.
2 new weapons.
Released on the same day, it looks like as well.
When did he post
cool.
this? July 1st. So he posted this 2 days ago. Yes, but he posted them both on the same day. So, yeah, working custom swords. It looks like you should go grab these and install them right away. Actually, it looks like only one is available as a download at this point.
I see. Maybe the other one is just an old one he had made.
Maybe so.
Or something.
Let's see. Well, compare the sword. Or maybe this is just an updated version. He'll upload soon, he says. So there we go. And I think we're going to end today by taking a
Could not
look.
hear you there. You were gone for a while.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. I was just saying I think we're going to start wrapping things up by showing off the art asset overview for this week.
Yes, indeed.
So we'll take a look at that, and I'm glad that I realized what I was doing, because I almost didn't have sound coming from from the movie. So here we go. We will have Aubrey's art asset overview for this week. So check it out. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Overgrowth Art Asset Overview. This week I worked on some pots. Here's the concept art that I showed last week, and Here are the high poly versions. Here's what they look like in the game. Of course, you can color them however you want. Here are just some test colors. I also worked on a generic tarp. Here I've built a little structure out of post pieces. I also started on some new modular signs. These are probably going to consist of 3 parts: a post, a board, and a decal that will have the actual image for the sign on them. David mentioned that for gameplay reasons it might be handy to have a concession booth that's more permanent that you can run your character on the top of and fight around without having to worry about it too much. So here's some concept art for that. That's it for this week's Art Asset Overview. Don't forget you can pre-order the game at wolfire.com/preorder. Thanks.
And we're back.
Yes, indeed we are.
So I'll just let it sort of run in the background while maybe we chat. What do you think about the new pots?
I am very surprised that he managed to make them look exactly like the concept arts that he had made.
Yeah, I love some of the details on them. The little handprints and the bones and all of those things. They're pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I'm excited to see these pots in game. Eventually maybe with some physics added to them. Right now, I'm sure that they are just objects that will sit still for the moment, but I'm sure something will be done with them in the future.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about the poly count on those. Looks like they might be a bit too high detail, but yeah, I don't really know too much about them or what the how well the game will be optimized when it's released, but yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Right. And any other comments on the other sign assets or let's see, what was the other thing? The canopy, the fixed place stand, right?
What did you call it? Tarp or something?
Well, yeah, there was
the
tarp. Uh-huh.
Yeah, about the signs. I like the signs. They were cool. Not really too much to say about them. Not very exciting subject, but it's nice to have the signs, of course. And I didn't really understand what this fixed thing was about.
That was the very last thing. Sort of. So he's building the. He built the one tarp out of pieces that already exist, but he's also making objects that will be designed more for running over, whereas probably with the tarp out of fixed pieces, it may not be easy to, say, run along and wall jump off of as easily as something that is more permanent, like an actual full-on object out of a single object that you can interact with, perhaps.
Okay, I see.
That's what I gathered from it. So
yeah, these concepts are looking cool in any case.
Absolutely.
And with your description of the reasoning behind these and what they are, sounds like a good idea.
Cool. So I think that is actually it for today. Unfortunately, we have to get going. Actually, we ended up almost a full hour, at least closer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So Also, because of our situation, there's not going to be a post-show show today, which I know is disheartening for many, including us. We're sad that we're unable to bring that to you today, but it is the way of the world today.
Yeah, stuff happens. Internet connections are lost, and thus post-show sessions are lost as well.
Exactly. So, thanks again for tuning in. Any of the call-outs you want to make, Silverfish?
Just go to OGWeekly.com. As usual, check out us on Steam, YouTube, and Twitter. Follow us there. Follow us on Justin TV. Get notified when we go live, and all cool stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to leave you with George Zizov's cover or song, The Day of Overgrowth, that a lot of you guys responded to last week. It's a fan-made song based loosely on the melody of Overgrowth, and you can check it out at georgedzizov.com, GeorgeDziov.com. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. See ya.
Yeah, see you guys.